Good morning. I will wait until 6 a.m. to actually get started, which is in a couple minutes. My name is Hannah-Graether, and I was trained at Kripalu, which was one of the first yoga schools to be accredited by the Yoga Alliance. Um, they've been teaching and creating teachers for over 40 years. Um, I'm really happy you're here with me this morning. Again, I will get started in about a minute and a half, but I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you for being here. According to my watch, it is officially 6 a.m. Let's get started. The playlist for the class is, as always, in the description box. Always listen to your body. It is going to be your best guide. The most reasonable, not reasonable, the most normal accommodation will just be to reduce the gravity. Maybe bringing the arms lower or coming down into a modified lunge. I will offer these modifications throughout the class. Okay, let's get started. Find a comfortable seat and settle into this moment. Breathe naturally as you have. Nothing to do but breathe at this moment. If it feels safe to you, close your eyes. Begin deepening the breath as you settle into the now. Letting go, nothing else to do but breathe. With each exhale, dropping into the present moment. Deepening the breath with intention, filling in from the belly. Inhale, rib cage, collarbone, and in reverse, exhaling from the collarbone, rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, collarbone. Exhale, collarbone, rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, collarbone. Exhale, collarbone, rib cage, belly. Continue at your own breath. Adding on another layer, the Ujjayi breath or ocean sounding breath. Slight constriction in the throat as if you were fogging up a mirror. Should be audible to those around you. One more breath, full round, and we will get started with moving this morning. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, down, heart center. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, down, heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. When hands meet up overhead, slight pressure. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, down to heart center. Thumbs touching the sternum or the heart. Taking a moment and setting an intention for your practice this morning. If that's not for you, just take a moment and check in with the body. Inhale, hands parallel with the ears. Send one arm forward, one arm back. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, send the other arm forward and the other arm back. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. You'd like to deepen the twist this morning. Your gaze can follow the back arm. If that is not for you, that's totally fine. Listen to your body. Exhale, hands, one arm forward, one arm back. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, the other arm forward, the other arm back. Two more full rounds of rotation. Inhale, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, the other arm forward, the other arm back. Last one. Hands meet up overhead. Send one arm, it doesn't matter which one, down to the mat. Exhale, send the other arm over the ear, reaching as far as you can, keeping both sit bones nice and high, nice and softly touching the mat. And exhale, bend over. Making sure the arm is parallel with the ear and not folding in. Opening up the chest this morning. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, come back overhead and switch arms. Send one arm down to the mat. Exhale, making sure both sit bones are on the mat this morning and not caving in on yourself. A nice stretch down the side body. Inhale, arms meet up overhead. Exhale, lower the arms. Clap the hands together, interlace the fingers, and roll the wrists in a figure 8 or infinity symbol, whatever you want to call it. Whatever direction you're going, reverse. I was leading with my thumbs, so now I'm leading with my pinkies. Does feel a little weird. But we're warming up, moving around the synovial fluid, which oils our joints, our wrists, our knees, all of them. Exhale, loosen the hands, shake them out. High 10 this morning. Okay. Meeting in table, coming onto our hands and knees, making sure that our shoulders are above our wrists and our knees are below our hips. Nice neutral neck. Extending through the crown of the head, pressing slightly into the feet. This is a pretty active pose, or it can be. Taking just the rib cage, inhaling it up and to one side, and then exhale down and over to the other side, kind of like a circle. Just the rib cage. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale up, exhale down. Continue on your own breath. One more time around, and then move reverse direction. Exhale, reverse, reverse. Whatever direction you're going, go the opposite direction. Just the rib cage. One more time around, meeting in stillness. Checking in to make sure that our knees didn't scoot or our wrists. Coming into a nice neutral position. Send the knees like about an inch, slightly a little bit wider, and send the hips, the whole body, to one side, back almost to child's pose, to the other side, and forward almost towards upward dog. Sending them in a circle. Exhale back, inhale forward. Does not matter which direction you chose, just pick one. One more time around in this direction, and then we will reverse. Whichever direction you were going, go the opposite direction, sending the hips to the side, back, the other side, forward. Keeping a slight pressure in the top of your feet into the mat will help create a stable base. Two more times around in this direction, and then we will meet in stillness in tabletop. Last one. Coming into stillness. Bring the knees back in so that they're directly under your hips. Make sure your arms are on your shoulders. Lift one knee so the quad is parallel to the floor, keeping that foot flexed. It's kind of like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And circle the knee. It does not matter which direction you chose, just pick one. Whatever direction you're going, reverse. Warming up those hip flexors. One more, coming into stillness. Other side. Pick up that foot, parallel, the quad is parallel to the floor. Flex the foot, circle the knee. One more time around, and then we will switch directions. Remember to keep that foot flexed. Engage the whole leg. One more time around, meeting back in table pose. Inhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back into down dog. Keeping the knees bent, maybe sending the hips even higher. First dog of the day, maybe we're walking it out a little bit, sending one heel closer to the mat and the other. Breathing. Coming into stillness, shake the head, no, not the head, yes. Inhale, send the hips even further up and back if you can. Pick a leg, it does not matter which one. I'm gonna pick this one, I think. That'll work. Into a runner's lunge, placing the foot between the hands, keeping the front knee behind the ankle, sending energy out that back leg. Back leg is engaged. The hips are parallel with the short edge of the mat. I've tented my fingers to come up a little bit higher. If this is not you this morning, you can always come down on the knee and keep the toes on the floor for the mat. I'm gonna go for it. Do what feels right to you and your body this morning. Mindful Movement Mondays is longer holds and postures going to the internal landscape. And breathe, settle in. 2 more breaths. Zip the legs together, making sure you keep that hip parallel with the short edge of the mat. Inhale, raise arms overhead into high lunge, sending the hips forward and the heart back will engage that core. If this is too much for your arms this morning, you can always bring them down to heart center or into cactus or even down to the hips. Ooh, I'm a little slippy this morning. Gripping in with the first 3 toes will help engage that whole front leg to create a more stable base. Again, sending energy out that back leg. Inhale, lengthen in any direction you choose, and exhale, settle in. Maybe come back to that intention you set. Two more rounds of breath. Keeping the base as it is. Really sleepy this morning. And exhale, twist your upper body, sending the arms parallel to the floor. I'm going to switch sides. Making sure the knee, front knee, is not caving in. Making sure to engage the outer edge of the foot as well. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, send the arms out. Send energy out those fingertips. Two more breaths in this position. Oh, I switched the wrong way. Inhale, back up to high lunge. Rotate that back foot so it is parallel with the long edge of the mat, keeping your arms parallel to the floor. Warrior two. Making sure that your body, your torso, is not leaning over that front leg, that you are evenly spaced. Your hips are parallel with the long edge of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Settle in. Maybe turning your head to gaze over the top fingers or the front fingers. Again, sending the heart back and the hips forward will help engage the core and allow you to lengthen a little bit more. Two more rounds of breath in this position. Inhale, straighten that front leg, keeping the feet exactly as they are. Arms are parallel to the floor. Slide as far forward as you can. Send that back hip in the opposite direction. So you're sliding forward and your hip is floating back. And on the next exhale, rotate, sending the arm in front of the extended leg. Only go as far as comfortable to your body. Some people can grab the ankle or the floor. I am not one of those. Ooh. Maybe you're even keeping your hand on the quad. This is triangle pose for those who are interested in names. A straight line from the top of your head to your back foot. So if you inhale and lengthen, that's the direction you're thinking of. Engaging that back edge, outer edge of the foot, creating a more stable base. Inhale, exhale, settle in. Inhale, grab a rope with the top arm, come back up into warrior two, bending that front knee. Exhale, straighten that, turn, rotate the front leg so it is parallel with the long edge of the mat in a wide angle pose. If your legs are too far out, you can always bring them in a little bit so it's more comfortable. Sending the toes to the outer corners of the long edge of the mat. Exhale, hands on hips. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Exhale, fold halfway forward. So you have got a flat back to the floor. Inhale, lengthen as far forward as you can, and then fold all the way down to a comfortable level to you. Some people, that's just, you can stay at parallel to the floor, keeping your fingertips on the floor. Some people can grab their ankles. Some people can even put their forearms on the floor. I find grabbing the elbows and dropping the head into ragdoll very comfortable. Do what feels right to you. Two more rounds of breath in this position. Inhale, hands on hips. Exhale, lift to a flat back, only halfway up. Exhale, bring the fingertips down to the mat and walk them to the opposite leg. So the other leg is going to be in front. So whatever side you were doing, going to the other side. Picking up the front foot and pointing it towards the short edge of the mat into runner's, picking up both feet onto the toes, rotating them to the short edge of the mat. So you're in runner's lunge. Sending energy out that back leg, making sure the knee is not going in front of the ankle. Zipping the legs together. Inhale, hands up overhead for high lunge. Ooh, I'm also slippy on this side. Making sure your hips are parallel with the short edge of the mat. Again, you can keep arms up overhead if that's too much this morning. You can bring them down to cactus, or maybe even keep your thumbs at heart center. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Exhale, settle in. Again, maybe coming back to that intention. Two more breaths in this position. And exhale, rotate, keeping the base the same. We all have good sides and great sides. I personally cannot rotate a full rotation on this side and keep my hips level. Some people can. I am not one of them. Inhale. No, we're gonna hold it. It's Mindful Monday. I can do it, you can do it. You can do it, I can do it. Okay, one more round of breath. Inhale back up to high lunge. I need to bring my feet in a little bit closer for a stronger base. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Ooh, I need to come in a lot more. And I'm going to switch so that you'll be able to see my face. All right. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, arms are still parallel to the floor. Send the, sorry, this is wrong. I am still in this direction. Okay. Rotate that back leg. So front leg is still parallel with the short edge of the mat, and the back leg is, the outside edge is parallel with the short edge of the mat. Bend the front leg into a lunge position, and inhale, arms parallel to the floor. Warrior two. Sorry, got a little confused. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, settle in. Making sure that you're not leaning forward over that front leg. You're parallel, up. Oh, I'm sweating. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Pick up the, no, let's keep that. Ooh, I need to, if you are out too far and it feels like your base is not as secure, you can always come in a little bit. Send the back hip towards the back wall. Inhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then drop the front arm, raise the back arm. So it's a rotation into triangle. We all have good sides and great sides. On this side, this is as far as I go. Trying to keep the hips as much as you can parallel with the long edge of the mat. Hello, good morning. Thanks for being here. Your hand can be anywhere but the knee. You want to be careful of that knee. Oh, I'm really sweating. With the top arm as if you're grabbing a rope to pull yourself back up into warrior two-ish. Rotate that front foot so the toes are parallel with the long edge of the mat, with a smidgen of a pigeon out to the corners. Exhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway, inhale, lengthen, then fold forward all the way. One more breath in this position. Inhale, hands on hips. Exhale, lengthen towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, lengthen as far forward as you can. Exhale. Inhale, pressing into the feet, coming all the way up. Woo. I'm gonna bring my legs in a little bit. Exhale, keeping the hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Bend the knees into a wide squat. Inhale, straighten out, making sure the crown of the spine and the tailbone are going in a straight line up and down. La, la, la. You can keep your hands on the hips. Bring the hands to heart center. You can even bring them out into a cactus for goddess. Whatever position you choose, see if you can find stillness. Take a moment. What can you let go of this morning? Coming back to maybe that intention you set. Maybe on the exhale, you sink a little bit deeper. Maybe. Sending the hips forward and the heart back will engage the core, providing a little bit more stability. If your legs are shaking like mine, that's okay. This is a practice. Tuning into the breath. 2 more breaths in this position. Inhale, press the feet into the floor, straightening the legs. Exhale the arms down. Inhale, hands to hips. Pick heel toe the feet together into a standing position. Inhale, lengthen arms up overhead. I think my arms went out of the camera, I'm not sure. Pressing in with all four edges of the feet. If my hands went out of the camera, I'm bringing them down so you can see what I'm doing. Press the hands together and you can put it in any position. You can keep them together like you're clapping. You can fold the thumbs. You can even go into steeple or Charlie's Angels pose, or even into lotus, pressing the thumb and pinky together and opening the fingers. I'm going to go in lotus this morning. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pick a side. It doesn't matter which one. Tip slightly to that side, and then making sure, checking in with your feet, that you've got equal pressure in both feet. This is, again, a nice side body stretch. And an arm strengthener, and a leg strengthener. Pretty much whole body. Making sure that we're not caving in, we're opening up the chest. Half moon. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, lengthen as tall as you can. Exhale, float the arms down parallel to the floor. And then all the way down to the sides. Take a moment and check in with your body. Done a lot of movement this morning and a lot of holding. Maybe close the eyes if it feels safe to you and check in. Inhale, arms parallel with the floor. Exhale, hands meet up overhead in whatever posture you chose. I picked lotus on the other side, so I'm going to stay with lotus on this side. But if that doesn't feel right to you, you can always bring the arms down to cactus. You can even bring one arm down to the hip. I'm going to keep my arms up overhead. Exhale, tip to the other side slightly. Inhale, extend as far as you can. Press evenly into both feet. So this is really just a slight tip, not all the way. Rotating our arms so that our shoulders are not caving in. Keeping them as much as you can parallel with the long edge of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, settle in. If this is also too much for your arms, you can bring them down to heart center. Maybe keep the same hand posture, maybe change it. Whatever is right to you and your body this morning. One more breath in this position. Inhale, come back up into standing or mountain pose, or maybe even call it Tadasana. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Come to the top of the mat. Feet parallel with the short edge of the mat. Back up. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold in a swan dive. So arms go parallel, then down to the floor. not locking the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Step back into plank pose. Exhale, bring down the knees, the chest and the chin. Untuck the toes. Press up into cobra. Sending the hips into the ground, tops of the feet pressing into the ground. Lifting the hands. There's not much pressure in the hands. Exhale down to the floor. Tuck the toes, send the hips back towards the feet into child's pose. You can untuck the toes so the tops of the feet are touching the floor if that feels better to you. It does to me this morning. Exhale. On the next inhale, tent the fingers and walk them towards the short edge of the long edge of the mat. Whatever side feels comfortable to you. And then you can inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine, send the hips back, then bring the hands back down to the floor. If this doesn't feel comfortable to you, stay in normal child's pose, whatever feels right to you. Inhale, tent the fingers and walk them to the opposite side. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, tent the fingers, walk them towards the short edge of the mat. Send the hips to one side, bring the legs out in front of you, sliding the hands around into staff pose. Flexing the feet so the toes are pointed to the ceiling. Got a right angle between your hips and your upper body. A slight pressure with your hands into the quads will help lengthen through the crown of the spine. Exhale, pick a leg, it doesn't matter which one. Exhale and hug it into the body. Good morning, leg. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. And on the exhale, send the knee down to the floor. So your legs are in the shape of the number 4. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Exhale, a slight rotation with turning from the belly button. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward as far as comfortable to you. It could even be right here. Or maybe you inhale and fold a little bit more, making sure to keep that front foot flexed, protecting the knee. That protects the knee. Inhale, lengthen maybe, and exhale, fold. We're sending our forehead to our shin area, not our knee. Sending our heart forward towards the knee. If you have the extension, you can maybe wrap your foot with your hands or maybe give the front foot a massage. If this is not you, that's totally fine. Inhale, walk the hands up the front leg. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Send the knee back up towards the sky. Give it a final hug and send it away. Take the other leg. Bring it in. Give it a hug. Oh, good morning. Good morning, leg. Keeping that front foot flexed on the exhale, send the knee to the floor. The foot naturally becomes flush with the quad. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. If your knee does not touch the floor, that is okay. Do what is right to your body this morning. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. My knee is not touching the floor this morning. That's okay. Exhale, fold forward. With a slight external twist from the belly button. Inhale, walk the leg, hands up the leg. Exhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine. Inhale, send the knee back up towards the sky and send it out to meet the other one. So both legs are extended, toes are flexed towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the spine and fold forward. If this is where you are this morning, that's totally fine. Even if this is not you, that's okay. You can bend the knees a little bit, creating some space underneath. To make this a more restorative pose, if your knees are not on the, if your legs are not on the mat, you can place a rolled up towel or blanket or even a pillow under the knees. And then fold forward. Inhale, walk the hands back up the legs. Exhale, bring the feet to the floor. Maybe scooch towards the top of the mat. Exhale, come down to lay on the mat, keeping the knees bent. Exhale, hug the knees in and circle them for a nice slow back massage. Whatever direction you're going, reverse. Inhale, coming into stillness, give your legs one final hug. Send the feet to the floor. I'm going to scooch back because I'm going into corpse pose. Bringing the feet off the floor, extended out in front of you. You can bring the arms to the side, flop them open a little bit, maybe even relax the feet out. Shavasana. This is the time to grab layers, a sip of water, whatever feels right to you. I'm going to be seated, so I'm facing the camera and you can hear my voice, but I am going to grab a blanket. Nada. Take a moment, check in with the body, see how it feels this morning after this hour of movement. Sealing in our practice, sending golden light, building from our toes to our feet. The light is warm, filling in our ankles, calves, building, sealing in the practice, filling the knees, the quads, filling the femur, which is the bone in the quad. The light builds and travels up to the hip bones, the tailbone. It builds up the spine, filling all sides of the belly. It fills and builds the sun warm light up the diaphragm in all directions, back, forward, to the side walls of the body. Inhale, exhale. The warmness, the light builds and fills each rib and the space between, all the way up to the collarbone. The light fills each lung, left and right, sealing in the breathing we've done this morning, filling in the heart. Inhale, exhale. Traveling forward towards the sternum, or that bone in front of the where the ribs meet. Light builds and travels up towards the throat, up to the back of the spine, into the brain, filling all parts of the skull, the left brain, the right brain. Relaxing the muscles on the face, the forehead, the eyes drop back into the sockets. Relaxing the cheekbones, the jaw, the lips, the chin. Settling into this warmth. Sending the light out of the crown of the head, extending towards the sun. Settling in, checking in with the body. The light fills the entire body, all the way down to the cellular level, filling each cell. Even further down into the DNA, the RNA, filling all of the body. I'm going to begin closing the practice, but if you'd like to stay in Shavasana and rest, that is totally fine. Do what feels right to you this morning. Wiggle the fingers and toes. When the moment feels right to you, turn on to the right side of the body. When the moment feels right, press into the hands, come up to a seated position. Inhale, place one hand flat on the heart and the other hand on top of that hand. Thank you so much for being here this morning and taking the time out of your day to move and breathe. Thank you so much for being here. Take a moment and send some gratitude to yourself. You've done a lot of work. You can keep your hands on your heart, or they can meet together at heart center with the thumbs touching the heart. Namaste, Jaya Bhagwan, victory to spirit. As always, the playlist for this class is in the description box, along with places for donations if that feels right to you. I will actually be adding another class to my weekly schedule on the weekends. I don't know about you, but I've been sitting a lot more than I usually do, and I've noticed my posture has changed. This class will help with those um, um, adjustments that we've made in our lives right now, from sitting more or just being still. Yeah, there will be announcements coming out about that. My next class is on Wednesday at 5:30, a Vinyasa flow. However, my friend Lucy Price does an amazing restorative practice on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's also a laughter yoga class, which is fantastic. Come as you are, bad mood, good mood, at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, run by my great friend Kirsten Soga. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the announcements I have for today. Thank you so much for being here.